I think in pictures. Words are like a second language to me. I translate both spoken and written words into full-color movies, complete with sound, which run like a VCR tape in my head. When somebody speaks to me, his words are instantly translated into pictures. I'm just the same. However, if I have no pictures for the words that are spoken to me, I have really difficulty to make sense of what the person is talking about. I need to have some concept as an image in my mind to understand the meaning of words. It wasn't until I went to college that I realized some people are completely verbal and think only in words. Hard to imagine. I first suspected this when I read an article in a science magazine about the development of tool use in prehistoric humans. Some renowned scientists speculated that humans had to develop language before they could develop tools. I thought this was ridiculous. I agree. And this article gave me the first inkling that my thought processes were truly different from those of many other people. When I invent things, I do not use language. I'm the same. I see an image or some videotape playing in my head. Then from that video, I can assemble the material I will use and go buy what I will need.
I know some of you guys have asked too, like the Asperger's brain, how's it different? Like the autistic brain, how's it different than the neurotypical brain? They're all different, first of all, because we're all different people, so we're all wired very differently. But for me, my autistic brain is very much like visual. So I see things, interpret things, and communicate through, like I have to translate everything from video in and out. So what happens is I think in pictures and video. When I see or I hear information, it's brought into my head in video. So if I'm listening to you talk, if I cannot picture, if I do not have a memory in my brain, like a photograph or a video that equals the thing that you're saying, I won't understand what you're talking about. It's not until there is a picture in my brain that has meaning attached to it that I will understand what you're saying. And it's really frustrating because I have people in my life that try to like use their hands to show me like what they're saying. If I say, can you explain that again? And they don't use different words that actually, where that word now has a picture that it brings up. If they just try to use their hands and sign and they say it louder or a different tone or whatever, I'm still not going to understand. They have to use different words, and I'm hoping that by them using different words or rephrasing it, they'll use a new word that will have a picture attached to it in my mind that will be like, okay, now I know what you're saying.
I am just the same. I need instructions that I can translate into a picture or a video, and then I am on board. Then I know what I'm supposed to do, or then I will understand what a person is telling me. If I can't attach a picture to the words have no meaning to me. That's just emptiness. I need to be able to attach some visual image to those words. The one common denominator of all autistic and Asperger thinking is that details are associated into categories to form a concept. Details are assembled into concepts like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. The picture on the puzzle can be seen when only 20% of the puzzle is put together, forming a big picture.
And I'm talking about very simple things, like just as an example of this. There's someone in my life right now who is working on taking a van, and they are going to like gut it and make it like a mobile home kind of thing. And so this person is like trying to explain to me how they're going to take this bed and they're going to do this and make this into a table, and they're going to like move this wall and then this thing comes down. No, because I haven't seen that before. That's abstract thinking. So what I would have to actually see this to understand what they're actually saying. And so it frustrates me when I say to somebody, I don't understand what you're saying. I'm not capable of drawing the picture in my head of what you're describing, because that requires imagination. You have to show me what it is that you're saying you're going to do, so I can now have a picture of it in my head. So that way when you are describing, oh, we're going to move this here, we're going to move that there, then I can actually engage with you in the conversation, like, oh, that's cool, yeah, that'll look nice or whatever. But like I was saying about when I was little and they're doing this make-believe, I can't picture what's going on. So if someone says to me, well, just imagine this, or just picture this, okay, just picture this in your head with me. No, it doesn't work like that. Yes, I think in pictures, yes, I think in video, but it has to be something tangible. So if I've never seen anything, what my brain is going to do is it's going to try to find something as close to what you're saying as possible and have that fill in the gap. And that gets very exhausting, trying to do that. So when I'm talking to someone and they're talking very abstract, it actually angers me, because I'm not able to communicate with them on this level at all.
I shared this already in a previous video. So for me, there needs to be some inspiration before I get an idea. And those are my childhood toys. I loved dogs, and they were all named from original dogs that existed in real life or in a childhood story, like this one, Dashenka. This one was named after my grandmother's poodle, Dolly. This one was named after my father's dog, Eric. And this one was named after a dog from my parents' friends, Caesar. So I always got the idea from somewhere, and then I have a picture in my mind, and from there I can go and do something else with it. But there needs to be some outer idea. When I have not seen it, then I have no concept. So this is me with the original dolly, and I have seen how this dog behaves, so I just took over the idea of dolly and put it into my toy dolly. And this was Caesar, very enthusiastic dog. This guy, his owner, I wasn't much interested in him, but the dog, yes. And that's usually how I would connect to people, through their animals. Or I would copy the behavior of the animals, learn from them what they do. They were like my teachers, so I got the pictures of them acting in their animal way, and that would make me understand how they react to things. That may sound a bit weird, but that's how I learned about my environment. If you look at horses, they have very clear body language. And this to me is actually clearer than human body language. Same goes for cats or dogs. They always have the same type of body language expressing a particular mood. It's never falsified, it's very clear, so you know exactly what you are dealing with. However, humans, it's way more complex and complicated.
Trying to constantly interpret, and some people don't want to acknowledge that I have limitations in the I can be extremely creative, but that's because I have such a massive memory bank of things that I've already experienced, because I catalog all this information in such an organized way in my brain. But even things like, I was talking to a new friend of mine, just like mystical things. She was saying to me about like meditation and stuff like that. There isn't a place, I don't even have a compartment in my brain for like the mystical, because that to me, it's like, it's utilizing a section of your brain that is for like visualizing and what's the word I'm looking for here? You're engaging this part of your brain that isn't based on, it's not based on like reality, it's based on like this other, I don't even see, I can't even explain it. All I know is I observe other people using this part of their brain, and they understand like the mystical, and they understand, you know, visualization, and they understand make believe and pretend. They like to read, you know, sci-fi books, and you know, they're into meditating, and they're into chakras, and they're into whatever. I don't have any part in my brain that understands any of that stuff, not one tiniest little bit. My brain, the best way to describe it is, my Asperger's brain is a computer, and it operates very much like a computer. Now, there are days and times when I'm more like prone to having like emotions and feelings, and I can interact on a little bit more of like a philosophical level. But when deep philosophical kinds of things happen, I don't experience the normal range of emotions that most people would.
As I gained experience, my conversation became less scripted because I could combine new information in new ways. To help understand the autistic brain, I recommend that teachers and parents should play with an internet search engine such as Google for images. It will give people who are more verbal thinkers an understanding into how visual associative thinking works. People with music and math minds have a search engine that finds associations between patterns and numbers. For me, this is very true. My mind works just like an internet search engine that has been set to access only images. The more pictures I have stored in the internet inside my brain, the more templates I have of how to act in a new situation. More and more information can be placed in more and more categories. The categories can be placed in trees of master categories with many subcategories. All of these memories play like videotapes in VCR in my imagination. If I allow my mind to keep associating, it will wander a million miles away from the word under, to submarines under the Antarctic and the Beatles song Yellow Submarine. If I let my mind pause on the picture of the yellow submarine, I then hear the song. As I start humming the song and get to the part about people coming on board, my association switches to the gangway of a ship I saw in Australia, and so on. This is true for me too. I can go on, and seemingly unrelated things are coming in a stream of thoughts just through association.